should ask them if they can hear you and if you can hear them.
The slide.
Good morning, Bhante.
Good morning.
Morning, Bhante.
Good morning.
Good morning, Bhante. We can hear you. We can see you.
Oh, very good.
Good morning, Bhante ji. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everybody. Where is the slide?
Sukihotu Banteji. Sukihotu everyone.
Ah,
Good morning, Hamdruni.
good morning.
Good morning, Bhante ji.
Good morning.
If you would
Today we are going to discuss something different. Yeah. Ah. Okay. This is a new meditation subject. So I think most of you know this. There are 6 elements. We have, many people have memorized these 6 elements, but perhaps they have not not been using them as objects of meditation. And therefore we want to focus our mind on this in this series of talks. I don't think I can explain all these things in one talk. I have to spend sometimes and give several talks on this topic. So you have heard these words before: Patavi dhatu, Apo dhatu, Tejo dhatu, Vayu dhatu, Akasa dhatu and Vijnana dhatu. Perhaps these last two elements you probably might have not heard, or have heard and don't know how to use them as objects of meditation. Therefore, I want to spend some time on this. Okay. Anyway, Patavi dhatu is earth element, Apo dhatu is water element, Tejo dhatu is fire element, Vayu dhatu is wind element, Akasa dhatu is the space element, and Vijnana dhatu is the consciousness element. These are the 6 elements. The list, names. Now let us go to little more detail. A Buddha asked, Katamaja bhikkhu patavi dhatu, and what monastic is the earth element? Similarly, he asked, he said, the earth element may be internal or may be external. And what monastic is the internal earth element, and what is the inside in itself that is hard or has become solid and is attached to, like this example given at the bottom. This is a section I have taken from Dhatu Vibhanga Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya. This discourse was delivered to a king called Pukkusati. The story goes like this. Pukkusati was traveling and one evening he wanted to spend the night. On the way he found a potter who makes pots, and he asked his permission to spend the night there. And he went in and stayed in the potter's shed, or it's a sort of a house that is used for his making pots. Daytime, at night, if any visitor likes to spend the night, he let them stay there. So Pukkusati went there and stayed there. Then afterward, Buddha also happened to go that way. And he asked the potter again, can I spend the night in your hut today? He said, there is a monastic who came earlier and he is there. If he does not have any objection, you can stay there. So the Buddha went and found Pukkusati and asked him whether he could spend the night there. He said yes. And then most of the night both of them sat and meditated. So finally Buddha thought, this man, or this seems to be a monastic, he seems to be very serious. He has become a monastic or monk in my name, although he has never seen me, but Buddha knew this already. So I want to talk to him, so he started conversation. In this conversation, he mentioned many things, but I took only this section on 6 elements. So that is why he asked Buddha, when Buddha wanted to explain it, he asked Pukkusati. Actually, Pukkusati was a king. He gave up his throne and became a monastic in the name of the Buddha. So Buddha asked him, monastic, what monastic is the earth element? Then he explained himself. He asked the question. Buddha asked questions in order to explain things. So he explained what is earth element, then he began to explain it. Earth element may be internal or may be external. And what is the internal earth element? So then he said, whatever is inside in oneself, and that is hard or has become solid, and that attached to together, and like this. And then he gave the list of earth element in this body. This body is made up of this earth element, one of the elements. That is, in Pali, as I mentioned, many Theravada Buddhists know these elements by heart. Kesa, the head hair, Loma, body hair, Naka, nails, Danta, teeth, Tacho, skin, Mangsang, flesh, Naharu, sinews, then atti, bones, atti minja, bone marrow, vakkang, kidneys, hadayang, heart, yakanang, liver, then kilomakang, plural, and then pihakang, spleen, pappasang, lungs, then antang, intestines, that is small intestine, then antagunang, large intestine or mesentery, udariyang, undigested food, karisang, excrement, mattalungang, brain. Now, these are the 20 parts of the 32 parts. All the parts are divided, bodily part divided into these 32. And out of them, 20 belong to Patavi Dhatu, earth element. Earth element. These 20. Then Buddha said, Yangvapana anyampi kenchi ajjattang pacchattam kakkalang kaligatang upadinang ayang uccati bhikkhu ajjattika pativi dhatu. Yacheva kopana ajjatika pativi dhatu, yacha bahiddha pativi dhatu, pativi dhatu revesa. Okay. So he said, yang va means all, whatever else there is that is inside, in oneself, that is hard or has become solid and is attached to, this monastic is said to be the internal earth element. Now, that which is the internal earth element and that which is the external earth element is only the earth element. Now, we discuss this even little further later. These 20 plus whatever else. So Buddha did not make this exclusively as earth element, but whatever else in the body that you find beside this, solid, solidified, and that all belong to earth element. Now you have to remember that these elements, these parts of the elements, we want to remember only for the purpose of meditation. That we'll see later on. I don't want to mention it right now. So we just remember this list first. And then how we use them as a part of our meditation. That is the thing. That is, I stop reading Pali because it takes a lot of time. This is like this. It ought to be seen as it really is, with right wisdom. How we should see it as right wisdom? This is not mine. This I am not. This is not my self. This is the way we have to use them as a part of our meditation. This is not mine. I am not this. This is not myself. Like this, it ought to be seen as it really is, with right wisdom. So, having seen it like this, as it really is, with right wisdom, one loses interest in the earth element. One detaches the mind from the earth element. Now, normally, in Vipassana meditation, we want to see things as they really are. What are the things? 5 aggregates. Out of the 5 aggregates, now we are dealing with the first aggregate, that is form. Form or rupa, which is made up of these elements. And we always remember, we want to see things as they really are. In Pali it's called yatha bhuta jnana darsana. We want to see in meditation, especially Vipassana meditation, we want to see things as they really are. So we mention 20 out of 32 parts of first element. First element is Patavi Dhatu. Patavi Dhatu is one of the elements of which the body is made. And in that element, there is no I. Therefore, it's called, it doesn't belong to I. This is not mine. These elements we put all together as one. This earth element is not mine. I am not earth element. Therefore, this is not myself. This is not myself. So, our problem, our suffering arises from the attachment to self. Attachment to self. When we meditate, it is very serious, very important to remember. We must remember to see or focus our mind on these elements internally to see that this element is not mine. These parts that we mentioned are not mine. I am not this. This is not myself. Like this, it ought to be seen as it really is, with right wisdom. Now, what is the right wisdom? Right wisdom is they all are rising and falling, appearing and disappearing. In Pali it is called Udayabbe Jnana. Udaya means rising, Vaya means falling, Jnana means wisdom. So wisdom is made up of this awareness of rising and falling. And these elements always are rising and falling inside. As we mentioned, as we breathe in and out, we bring oxygen into our lungs and charge our red blood cells with oxygen, and then that goes to the heart, then heart pumps and spread oxygen all over our body, and all these elements, all these parts that we mentioned in this list, head hair, body hair, nail, teeth, skin, flesh, sinews, bones, bone marrow, kidneys, heart, liver, pleura, spleen, lungs, intestines, mesentery, undigested food, excrement and brain. All these function because of oxygen. Every cell in this head hair, body hair, nail and so forth lives because of oxygen that we breathe in. And when after fraction of a second, they will be depleted of oxygen. They will wear out oxygen. And then we have to breathe again and again to keep them alive. And therefore they are not permanent. Our body hair is not permanent, they are changing. But we don't see the change. Only one day we can see them gray, or hair is fallen and we have bald head and so forth. Our teeth, skin, flesh, all these are changing all the time. And seeing this as they are means seeing them changing all the time. This we don't see them with our eyes, we see with wisdom. So in this section Buddha said this is not mine. If it is mine, we don't have to worry about breathing again and again. If this is I am, you don't have to do anything, it will remain like the same always. This is not myself. Like this it ought to be seen as it really is, with right wisdom. Right wisdom, samma panyaya. So panya you can see here, yatha bhutang samma panyaya dasva. You see, yatha bhutang samma panyaya dattabham. Samma panyaya dattabham. See with right wisdom. See with right wisdom. When we say right wisdom, it implies that there must be wrong wisdom. What is the wrong wisdom? Wrong wisdom is thinking that they are permanent. They belong to us and we are them. That is why there are 20 types of self, 20 types of beliefs or self-beliefs, wrong view, and that's called wrong wisdom. Right wisdom is that this is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself. Why not? Because they are changing. They are changing all the time. The oxygen that we breathe in is not mine or not yours. It is just there, and we breathe in to keep them alive. So that is why we use this as a part of our meditation. Then we go to the next slide. Then Buddha asked Pukusati, the monastic. I read only in English. Occasionally I might use Pali. in order to make things even clearer. And what one monastic is the water elements. The water element may be internal or may be external. What is the water element internally? There are 12 water elements. What are they? I mean parts of water elements. Monastic is the internal water element. Whatever is inside, in oneself, that is water, has become watery and is attached to like this. Now example is given here. Bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat, tears, grease, spittle, mucus, synovial fluid, and urine. Now there are 12 parts. Earth element has 20 parts. Water element has 12. Altogether 32 parts. And then we use the same technique to use them as a part of our meditation. Buddha said, or whatever else there is that is inside, in oneself, that is water, has become watery and is attached to that monastic is said to be the internal water element. Now, that which is the internal water element and that which is the external water element is only the water element. Now, just like earth element, we see water element internally. When they turn into this form, we know that they are watery. But the element itself we cannot see. Even the earth element itself we cannot see, because it is so subtle, and when extremely subtle molecules, particles come together, it gives an appearance and it gives its characteristics. Otherwise we don't see them. That is why they are called elements. Now, earth element, water element, both are the same. That means it is extremely impossible for us to see them with our naked eyes. But when they come together, we can see them. So, we go to next slide. So, and these water elements also we use as a part of our meditation, and we mentally notice that this is not mine. I am not this. This is not myself. Like this, it ought to be seen as it really is with right wisdom. Having seen it like this, as it really is, with right wisdom, one loses interest in the water element. It doesn't mean that we don't take water, but we don't become attached to it. One detaches the mind from water element. Even though we use it, we don't become attached to it. Since we are attached to water element, we, normally people attached, they want to make it tasty, putting all kind of chemicals, colors, taste, some kind of flavor, some kind of smell, and so forth, to make it more palatable, attractive, and likable. But when we use it in the natural form, it doesn't taste anything sweet, it just tastes as water. And if it is tasty, then we become attached to it. So, as it is important for our health, we use it, but we don't become attached to it. So next element is third element, Tejo Dhatu. Teja means fire, heat element. And what monastic is the fire element? The fire element may be internal or external. And what monastic is the internal fire element? Whatever is inside in oneself, that is fire, has become fiery and is attached to like this. That is, that which one is heated. Our body is heated, by which one grows old. Because of the heat element, we are growing, by which one is burned up. We feel burning sensation, by which what is eaten, drunk, chewed and tasted gets completely digested. The body temperature or heat is necessary for digestion, or whatever is there that is inside in oneself, that is fire, has become fiery and is attached to that. Monastic is said to be the internal fire element. Now, that which is the internal fire element. So, we can see the fire element from these characteristics. What are the characteristics? It makes us feel hot. When it goes down or temperature drops, then we feel cold. There is no element called cold element. The fluctuation of heat element we measure using thermometer, body temperature, and we say, oh, you have 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. It is not the temperature, it is not the cold, but it is the heat element, by which grows old. That is the heat elements, beings living in very low temperature survive long. For instance, when when we die and put in ice, maybe temperature may be 15, 20 degrees, the body remains very, very long. If we can live under very cold temperature, the body lives long. I heard that certain insects, like bees in hot temperature don't live too long. In cold temperature, in cold countries, they live few years longer. So the temperature help to grow old, and then by which one burns up. That is, of course, when you approach fire, you get burned, hot water and so forth. Then by which what is eaten, drunk and chewed and tasted gets completely digested. Okay, these are the characteristics of heat element, fire element. Through these characteristics we know that's fire element. It is the function of radiation. So these are the three elements that we discussed. I think, as I mentioned, I cannot explain all these things in even this much detail in one talk. So now I have to stop this, and the way we use this is the same as other two elements. That is, this is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself. So the heat element is the element that has these functions, and we understand them, heat element, only in this way, not any other way. Not that this is mine, this is myself, and this is I am, and so forth. Not that way. That's a wrong understanding, wrong wisdom. Now I stop here, and next Saturday I will give another talk on the remaining elements, and I don't know how long I can give, how many of them I can explain in the next talk. And until I complete these elements, I give some talks on this element. Remember, the purpose of giving these talks is to use these elements for our meditation practice, mindfulness practice. So as mindfulness is a very vast subject, we can use anything as part of our mindfulness meditation practice. Now let me go to the, let us do some meditation now, and then I ring the bell. No. Okay. Is that right? Okay. Now let us start our meditation. This is what we recite every day we meditate. By now probably you may remember, and still look at the screen and read this discourse on loving friendliness. May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds, whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long, large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, May all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere. Neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another. As a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child, even so towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, without hatred or resentment. Whether standing, walking, sitting, lying down, or whenever awake, one should develop this mindfulness, this called divinely dwelling here, not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision, removing desire for sensual pleasures. One comes never again to birth in the womb. Okay, I think you don't need any more instructions. My talk itself can be used as a part of your meditation without any further instructions until I ring the bell. by means of this meritorious deed, may I never join with the foolish, may I join always with the wise, until the time I attain Bhavana. May the suffering be free from suffering, may the fear-struck be free from fear, may the grieving be free from grief, so too may all beings be. From the highest realm of existence to the lowest, may all beings arisen in these realms, with form and without form, with perception and without perception, be released from all suffering and attain to perfect peace. Excellent, excellent, excellent. With this metta wish, I like to end this session. Those who like to continue their meditation, they can do so. May all those who are in hospitals suffering from various sicknesses, taken care of by very compassionate doctors, nurses, and hospital staffs, may they recover very quickly and continue their Dhamma practice and liberate from samsaric suffering. May all those doctors, nurses, hospital staffs who are sacrificing their comfort, risking their own life, and practice taking care of these patients, may they continue their wonderful service and have their meditation practice and also liberate from samsaric suffering. May all those who have been grief-stricken be free from their grief of they were grieving the death of their relatives. May they be relieved from such grief and understand Dhamma, practice meditation, and liberate from samsaric suffering. May all those who are supporting in various ways, financially and otherwise, to make their lives comfortable, may they continue their wonderful service and practice Dhamma, meditation, and attain liberation from samsaric suffering. And everybody whose category is not mentioned, then may they also have wonderful life, peaceful life, and attain liberation from samsaric suffering. Thank you for participating and encouraging us to continue this Dhamma service, and may you all be well, happy, and peaceful. Okay.
Thank you,
Bhante.
Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Tutu Saran.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you,
Ah,
Bhante.
ah, ah.
Surya Saranai.
Thank you for
Considerable Bhante. Good
Okay.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Where is
Thank you, Bhante.
Good night.
thank you, Where is Judy? Okay, thank you. Bye.